Now, the card at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Arrows, and is represented by woodpecker. Arrows is about messages coming in, information, communication. Woodpecker reminds us about drumming out new rhythms in our life. But also drum beats used to be signs of communication, signals of communication for people from a distance. They would hear the drum beats and the rhythms in certain patterns, and that would give them information about incoming parties, visitors, guests, people like that, to kind of announce them before they came in. So this is very much so about new communication coming in. For some of you, it could be a younger person, air sign, like a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. If you have a child or a young, like a teenager, somebody like that. But for a lot, I think it will be about communication of a sort. Okay. Now, covering you is the Eight of Arrows card, which represents struggle. Now, arrows being intellectual, for many of you, this could be that you're psyching yourself out in some way. This card represents anxiety. It's been coming up a lot in the readings I've been doing at the beginning here of September. So this has to do with how you're thinking about your thoughts, where you're going. Understand that how we think about something, we can often manifest that. There's that law of attraction that's at work. So if you are worried about something, see if you can't figure out what it is at its core that you're worried about, and then release that concern. Understand you can control what you think, say, or do, but you cannot control things beyond that. There is an exception for minor children where you do have to set certain limits because you are responsible for them. But even then, you can't control what they think about a situation either. And in that sense, getting an idea of what is it that you're concerned about, what your worries are, seeing if there's a healthy way to vent those concerns or fears. Journaling, talking to someone, exercise to drain the pain, and see if that doesn't help you release some of that concern or issue. Crossing you is Hearthfire. Now, Hearthfire can be a very passionate card coming in. A lot of energy in that, right? It's that kind of energy of, say, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy, because Wands is pertaining to the suit of fire, and those are our fire elementals. With this, it could be that you're having worries and concerns about your home life. Then again, it could be you've been in this anxious space, and yet here you're finding all this energy, communication that's coming in. It's really about lighting up that fire within you so that you finally see what it is that you want. In fact, I question if maybe this anxiety here had to do with ungrounded energy. Like maybe you were lacking something to manifest. You weren't really sure what it was that you were trying to accomplish or what you wanted to do. And this passionate energy that's coming in is giving you clarity on what it is that you want. In fact, this communication from our Page of Arrows may have something to do with it. Maybe you've been in a state of waiting that's been uncomfortable for you. You're getting a message that what it is that you want is going to be coming in for you, and that's giving you increased energy and hopefulness and positivity to becoming. This card here is the Breath of Life card, and again, this is this idea of a surge in energy. It's also a communication card. Ace of Arrows can be Ace of Swords in other decks, but it has to do with getting that energy boost, right? Having a new idea come in, maybe something, an idea that's coming forward, a communication or an idea that's going to kind of ramp you up and give you a focus that you can feel very passionate about and put your energy behind. For some of you, that could be a relationship, but I'm really thinking in some, it may be an intellectual pursuit, like a business idea, some sort of an idea like that, designing an app, for a phone, or maybe an idea that you've needed that you could put forth to your boss at work. Something like that you can kind of put your name on. And that will give you a lot to do because it just will. It's going to bring in a lot of work for you to do. It's going to give you a lot of something that it is that you're needing. Because this card here, the anxiety has to do with a focus on lack, right? And not really knowing where it is that you're going. This person's wandering in the cold, sort of pointlessly, really, aimlessly, and feeling all of that cold wind, not really having a direction. And this breath of life is really going to help spark you up, right? And it possibly will come in that form of a communication of some kind that comes in, right? It could be an intuitive type communication that's coming in. This card beneath you is the shaman card. For some of you, you may have visited your therapist. For others of you, the shaman is going to be about the communication. It could be you checking in with your wiser higher self. And I don't know, the card seems blurry somehow. Okay, that's better. But having this intuition that comes in, right? The shaman is kind of a cross between the high priest and the high priestess. No, there is a seer. Never mind. The shaman's more the high priest, or the, what's he called? The Hierophant, which could possibly be a Taurus, the shaman person. But somebody that comes in, gives you some wisdom or advice, or helps pull it out of you, helps extract that from you. And that may be some of this communication that you're experiencing here. Again, it could be intuitive on your part, or it could be that you actually seek the counsel of somebody else, whether that's a therapist, whether that's a coworker, or a business person that you engage in consultation with. But something is happening to help you move you forward. I feel like there's been some kind of a stuck feeling in a way for some of you. Behind you, we have the challenge, the Two of Stones. These are boxing hares. They are not playing and getting all kissy face. These are ugly bunnies. All right. I like rabbits. But anyway, they've been having some kind of a power struggle. And this could be an internal struggle that you've been dealing with, or this could be an actual struggle with another person. So one of the things to figure out is, where is that? And it does feed somewhat into this anxiety that you've been experiencing. You know, if somebody's been planting not so nice ideas in your mind, and that's giving you reason to stew, where's this conflict coming from? What's the relationship of this person to you? And are they necessary in your life? Do you need to cut them out in some way? If not, if this is an internal struggle, you may still have to learn how to clear some of that out so that you don't give in too much to anxieties, insecurities, and doubts. Because you do have really positive stuff coming in the way of this hearth fire, and with that page of arrows woodpecker information coming in. And it does seem like you've got a good support system, the shaman here. Now, before you is the clearance card. It did start to roll out in a reverse position, and although I don't read reversals in this deck because the book doesn't even do reversals, that suggests to me that there may be something that you are resisting clearing. Sometimes people don't like to surrender their anxiety. Sometimes people don't like to get rid of or clear out the relationships that are not healthy for them, that are negative. The whining wife, or the bitching boss, or whatever that might be. Take it as it resonates. Or this could be your internal sense of self. Sometimes we feel like if we beat ourselves up long enough, then we won't have negative consequences anywhere in our life, because we've already beat ourselves up 10 times for it. So how could there possibly be any real life consequence? It doesn't work that way. Please also note that the cards read from the right to the left in this layout. So it is a progression from this type of either internal or external struggle to the internal world of your Eight of Arrows anxiety struggle, to clearing this. Can you clear this negative energy away from you? For some of you, it may be about getting the fire up to be able to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm sick of this. I'm over it. And for some of you, it might be, put on your big girl pants or your big boy pants or whatever. I'm done. I'm done beating myself up over this. I can't control it. And therefore, I need to just move on from that and find my way to make my peace with that. And for some of you, it really could be about getting the help from a therapist or advisor or wise counsel to be able to leave some of your struggles about the past in your past, right? And being able to clear them out and find a proper place to put them. We don't really have to regret things that we've done unless we continue to do those things. Then maybe there's a place to be saying, what exactly am I doing to keep this going forward? But there comes a place where it's like, I've beat myself up enough over it. If I'm willing to make the change, and the apology is completely valid, right? Then again, if I lie to someone and then I apologize and then I lie to them again and then I apologize and I keep in that same pattern, yes, I've got something to feel bad about. But if I lie to someone, apologize, acknowledge it, change the behavior, there does come a point where I need to clear it out and leave it in my past tense. So whatever that situation is for you, and you may want to call in your best advisors, best friends, those kinds of people to help you figure out what's realistic or what's not for you. But I do feel like there comes a surge in energy where you're saying, I'm really kind of over it. And I want to move beyond this issue, whatever that is. Feeling that breath of fresh air and saying, there has to be the dawning of a new day for me. The card representing you is the Three of Wands card. It does represent fulfillment. And also you notice the staff with the two snakes wrapped around it. That's a healing staff. So again, we see this idea. You may find healing with a shaman. It could be an actual medical person if you've had medical issues. It could be emotional healing with a therapist. It could be, whatever that is for you. But this card here also indicates the idea of the ships coming in, right? There's the ships coming in. You're moving through, like if you notice these staves are bigger than the one in the middle. But to me, that gives it kind of a triangular effect, like this person's moving forward through some portal into another side, into another level of understanding. And again, this is where we find our passion. We move through the portal of pain, and then we get to that energy where we have the energy to clear. And to say, I have to get rid of the things that are no longer suiting me. I have to cut that away. Medically, that can be the removal of something, a tumor or, some sort of thing if you've been going through any kind of a medical issue. So there is that. But this is about fulfillment, right? This is you accomplishing that. This is about being able to find that healing. This is not a death sentence reading, I'll tell you what. If you've had any medical issue, it does speak highly of improvement for you. Oops, I'm putting these back wrong, just because that would be the thing to do today. Maybe that's the actual right position, I don't know. In your environment card, we have the Ten of Arrows. Ten of Arrows in this deck is not negative. It is about instruction, receiving instruction. Right? Or giving instruction to somebody else. I think with the shaman card in here, though, I think that you're the one possibly receiving the instruction or the help. It could be intuitive. It could be receiving guidance from your angels or spirit guides. It could be from actual physical, embodied spirits like our physical co-workers or staff or medical professionals and therapists and the like. Receiving instruction, help on how to set aim. I mentioned some kind of aimlessness back here and feeling like that had something to do with the struggle that you'd been going through. But in your environment, it's like you are going to be receiving some guidance so that you have a better sense of what it is that you want to aim for. And then here will come the passion and the burst of energy, that breath of life that you've been waiting for to be able to manifest this, whatever you have in your sights over here. So very much a positive thing, very positive. Then your hopes and fears, the balance card. But we also see this energy here again. We've got that caduceus, that winding. We don't really see the pole, but there's definitely a center line that's coming through here. You can see in the colors on the face, but also this element that's reaching up heavenward. And most certainly, this is a card of help and hope and healing, balance in your life, balance of the internal. This card could be an opposite of the struggle card that you see here. This person is not experiencing this type of challenge. This person is finding if this card here, the Two of Stones, and this could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, if that's a person you've been experiencing a challenging relationship with, you guys are fighting all the time, bickering and arguing, it doesn't have to be physical like this is. These are hairs, so they have limited communication, but it doesn't have to be that type of imbalance where there's a power struggle constantly going on. Maybe for some of you, you're hoping to be able to clear something out so that you can have a better sense of a balanced relationship with someone. Or maybe this is about the balance within yourself. I'll let you decide that, because each of you are unique persons. And, for some, this may be a relationship. For some, this may be about your internal struggle. But take it as it resonates for you, right? The final outcome card here is the Green Man card. And Green Man is the quintessential God energy, the masculine, the balance for the goddess. He's about the fertility and the things that come to fruition. He's the solar energy. He's the ripening of the fruit. He's the masculine energy, like the male seed that planted the fruit that the female element bears this time of year. So there's very much so, it's about masculine energy. But it doesn't have to be literally masculine, but it's just sort of that, summer, happiness, flavor, personal power, abundance, bringing forth things in abundance, right? Being able to have that, whatever that is that you've been seeking to bring forth. Now, this can represent for people the planetary ruler of Mars, because against the masculine sexual energy as opposed to the Venus energy of the feminine, and as such represent Aries potentially for some of you. Most likely, this has to do with health and abundance. So if any of you have been going through any kind of health struggles, or somebody close to you has been going through a health struggle, I really do feel like that is going to be a thing of the past tense, and that together the Green Man with the clearance means whatever this health issue, you're clearing out that negative energy, clearing out that whatever that is, and finding yourself in the abundance, the height of physical health and well-being. And definitely this Three of Wands here, fulfillment card, that's you. Whatever that was pertaining to health and well-being, that can and will be you. But be careful too, because there is a role that anxiety can play in keeping us physically underfit, right? When we experience anxiety, a lot of times we don't realize how it weakens our armor against other things. We're more prone to infection when we have a lot of worry. We're more prone to drawing in negativity from other people. Somehow people sense our weakness, and if they tend to be those lower vibrational people, they will poke at you when you have nothing left, and just really kind of put you down and drain you of your energy. And then we put more and more into our head trip in our intellectual negativity. We drive towards what we look at. So be very, very careful. Be mindful that you're not psyching yourself out. But that healing really is coming along. It's not just potential, it's very, very real here. So let that down. I know it's been some kind of a struggle. Again, could be internal, could be external for some of you even, but it is coming to pass, your healing cycle. You will be clearing through this, and you will be finding yourself at the height of fertility, fecundity, success, manifestation, bearing of fruit, and really being able to put that energy into the creation of anything that it is that you choose to do. Very positive reading, I would say. I do want to pull an Angel Tarot card before we hang it up here. And the Angel Tarot cards are by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. All right, we have a flipper. I like when that happens. And we got the card for 17, which is the Star card, and represented by Archangel Jophiel. I apologize to the angel if I am pronouncing his or her name wrong. And the card represents happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans, and on the right path. Go ahead, wish upon a star. The angels say you have every reason to feel hope and happy expectation. Believe in your dreams and look to the future with optimism, excitement, and confidence. Challenging times are now behind you and brighter times are ahead. Make your plans with the long view in mind. Now is the time to envision your life the way you want it to be and take action in that direction. The expectations you create for yourself are planted in fertile soil. Trust and follow your intuition as it's right on target. Additional meanings of this card include faith, a sense of purpose, a prosperous new beginning, and being on the right path. Archangel Jophiel is the angel of optimism who helps us develop a sunshiny outlook and attitude. Call upon Jophiel to help you celebrate your victories and stay optimistic about your future. And 2 cards, I was thinking about this resurgence of energy and the determination to be able to do what it was that you wanted to do. Also, this hearth fire. And remember, hearth and heart are related. The same root words, but about letting go of things that pull you off of your path of optimism and your ability to see that. Such a wonderful card to pull. I'm so grateful.